Hello, I've had a couple of questions about web apps and including these in your story maps, such as the Spyglass feature. So I'm just going to show you how to do that. So here I am in my content. I've created a calm imagery web map and an OpenStreetMap web map. So the calm imagery has just got the imagery as a base map, and then it's got a 1998 channel position, and I've added in a pin just to show some a picture of the dumpy level transect, and then in my OpenStreetMap I've got no layers in it. So let's go ahead and create a story map and show you how to add in the Spyglass feature. So as you know, the first thing that the story map will have is that web map added by default. So I'm going to go ahead and add in a couple of immersive sections, or an immersive section, and remove this because actually I don't want it like that. So we've got an immersive section here. I can just add in that as a immersive map. I can also add in the imagery one. So now we've got those two maps there. But the question is, how do you add in a Spyglass feature? So let's go to our imagery web map, and just remind you here, like, the web maps are the building blocks for story maps. So if you want to create different tools, just create different web maps, edit those, and the edits will appear in your story map. So let's go ahead and create a web app. In this case, we're going to create the Spyglass feature. Actually, let's go back a sec and show you there's so many different things that you can explore and have a look at. So yeah, try out some of those. The Spyglass one is just one that I found and is kind of fun and creative. So let's just go ahead and create one of those. So we're comparing two web map layers. So we're going to select the Spyglass feature, and we want to be two web maps. So the first one is the calm imagery. So let's add in here the OpenStreetMap layer, and then we'll go enable description. I don't have a description, so I'm just going to tick that off. You can come back and play with those settings and adjust those settings once you're in this environment. So here is our Spyglass feature. This home location extent indicator will be the same as whatever the extent of that map was. So if you change that, it will change the extent within your web maps. So if you're happy with this, you'll see that all the pop-ups still work. There's the dumpy level, and there's the 1998 channel position, for example. So great, let's go ahead and take that URL, and we can just add it into our story map like so. Paste that in, tick that, and we are ready to go. All I've done is I've put it in as editing mode, so that's, you need to probably save that, and that should then be okay. Let's just check this. So if I save this and then go into preview, we'll see we've got the calm, we've got our OpenStreetMap, we've got our imagery layer, and then we should have the Spyglass feature we've just embedded. Yeah, we can go ahead and explore that, and this is all within our story map environment. So that's how you would add that in. You notice as well that with the where is it gone? With this tool, there was a vertical bar option, so we can go ahead and change it to that if we wanted to. Select that layout, swipe type. We've got two different web maps, and we can go ahead and save that. And let's refresh it and see if it's now a swipe map. There we go. So now we've got it as a swipe map. So if we go back to our story map, those changes should have been saved. So if I refresh that, and it's just pulling in that link. So the link is no longer a Spyglass, it's now a swipe map. There we go. So so we can explore it that way. And I know these pop-ups should be enabled. Yeah, perfect. There is an alternative method for doing a swipe in a story map, and it comes. You could use these blocks here, like where we have a story map made up of a map with the same extent, such as this OpenStreetMap, and then we go to imagery. You can just select this one and swipe horizontally, for example. So then when you scroll down, you're going down through these layers. Let's save that and show you what that looks like in the preview. Yeah, let's refresh this. So again, our story map, I'm just scrolling with the mouse wheel. We'll see our OpenStreetMap. There we go. Now that's that transition from the OpenStreetMap to that imagery. So it's slightly different to this explore function, but it kind of has the same sort of effect. Yeah, so go ahead and explore these different apps that you can create, and remember that these web maps are like the building blocks for your story map. So remember that when you're adding in these immersive sections and you're adding in your media, it's your story maps, your content, which you can add in, and then you can create different apps and link them in that way. If you do that, you might notice that how do I get out of here? Let's just add that. You might notice that this now says it alerts you to issues and helps you fix them. When you embed a scene or when you embed an app, as I've done, then the this checker can't check whether or not that's public or within your university extra account, for example. So whatever you have, when you created that app, like when you did this and you went to create a web app, Spyglass, when you did that, it will appear here in your content as a web map application, and you'll see the privacy here. So you can see share, it's not shared with anyone. So even if your story map is public, these layers also need to be public. That's what that's telling you about. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that's given you some helpful insights. Oh yeah, maybe I should show you how to like embed these tools. That could be quite useful for you, and enabling pop-ups. There are different ways of doing it. For the one when I just did it, then I just added a map note. You can add a map note. And you can say, field pictures, and we can just add that in. I did a stick pin, and maybe you have a field photo, and maybe you've saved your photos to Flickr, and you can embed those. I don't know. I've not done that, so I'm just going to copy the image address from Google. You can do this for your own pictures, and then we'll copy that into there. We'll close that. We'll save it, and then we'll refresh the page, and hopefully we should have a pop-up enabled with our image, like so. So we click on that, and there we have our field photo. And you can go ahead and for your layers, you can adjust those pop-ups and how they are presented should you wish to. I hope that's useful. Thanks, guys.